Alright, Rick Again here, back with another toy review. This time we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I loved this show growing up. I had all of them, but a load of the figures. I really enjoyed the cartoon. I collected the Archie comic. Then, didn't watch Next Mutation much, but the second cartoon series, loved that as well. New cartoon series on now. Enjoying it. Seems a bit of a throwback to the original series in the Archie comics as well, so I'm really enjoying that part. So, only natural, let's take a look at the figures that came with it. Got in front of us, as I'm sure you may well have noticed by now, 4 Ninja Turtles. All 4 of them. Picked them up at Asda when they were on special offer. So, let's have a look at the packaging first. Nice green and purple. Nickelodeon logo on there, obviously. Good colour mix. Slightly sinister colour mix, but a nice colour mix. Back of the box, showing you the other figures available. A brief bio on the character, with the cutout lines for you to cut out and keep. Very, very reminiscent of the original series. Something I very much approve of. So, let's just crack these bad boys open. See what they're like when we actually get hold of them. Right, we'll start with Raphael, as he's the one in my hand. In the package we get whatever this is. Oh, toy guide. Showing you vehicles. All the figures available in the first and second series. The larger scale talking figures. The massive playset. If that went £100, I'd buy that. And the roleplay toys. Nice. Very reminiscent of what you used to get with the old toys when I was growing up. So I'm liking that. Something I'll look at and treasure later. Now onto the turtle himself. There's a tie at the back, holding the figure in. I never remember them being these on figures when I was a lad. Were things just better secured then, or do they feel like they have to be better secured now? One of the great mysteries in life. Okay. Tell you what, he feels very small. Don't know if he looks it to you, but there we go. Some wonderful detailing. Cracking the shell like on the show. Little scuffs everywhere. Really nice feel actually. Stands perfectly well. Articulation points. You see, I can't work out which way that arm is meant to go. Aha, there we go. I had the shoulder backwards. That's more like it. Right, articulation at the wrist, elbow, shoulder, ball jointed shoulder there. Head with up and down movement, so it's on a ball joint. Legs, knees, nothing below the knees though, but damn good articulation in my opinion there. Nice. Now we throw in, it wouldn't be Raphael without his sai. Wonderfully there's a place to store them on the back of the shell. Looking good on there. Check the grip. Can he get it in his iconic, holding it in the, look at that, he can even hold it, as he often does on show, between his fingers. Or at least on that hand he can. He can't so much on the other one. There's no hole. On this one, just a more traditional gripping. But I'm appreciating the fact that you can do it on that hand. To make things even more exciting, you get a selection of other weapons, including a couple of Halfshell, a couple of shurikens, and a couple of these bladed weapons, which name I can't remember, but I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. I'm not going to take these off yet. I'm going to keep these stored with the figure so I know where they're going back to. Set him on there. Right, moving on. Michelangelo. Again, catalogue. Look at that later. Again, secured in the back with a tie. How fascinating for you, I'm sure, to see somebody untying figures. Oh, that one was nice and easy to undo. Oh, there's a second one. Fortunately, it will just squeeze through that, so that's okay. Right, once again, feels very small. Feels very in scale, and right, but feels very small. Especially when you stack him next to Raphael, where it shows he is smaller. But then, of course, he is in the cartoon. Makes sense. Same articulation, different scuffing on the body though. So you actually do get different build for these figures, which is a really nice touch. They're not just a reuse of the same moulds. He seems to be slightly hard to stand up, it would appear. Get him his nunchucks out. Very tight grips on these figures. Very nice two-handed pose possible with it. Or one in each hand. Again, you've got a place to store them on the back of his belt, so nice touch there. Got Michelangelo. He also comes with the extra additional weapons. Though unlike in the vintage line where they were all the same variants, we actually have different weapons for different turtles. Obviously, we still get the two large shurikens. We get two smaller ones. And we get what's the name? Chained hook. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. Probably in a follow-up video. Oh, I've just noticed. Actually says the word Mike on here. Says Raph on that one. So no chance of getting them confused, either in factory or in play. Nice little touch. Next up, Donatello. Now, Donatello in the series really took me a while to get into. Loved the character, loved the characterisation, but I was slightly thrown by the fact that it was Raphael. The actor who voices Donatello did the voice for Raphael in the original series. Lovely continuity nod, bringing him back. Really like that. Well, as I say, for an old hand at this sort of thing like me, it seemed odd hearing his voice coming out of Donatello's mouth. Now that I've been watching the show for a while, I can say that I really think he's a good choice for Donatello, and he plays it fantastically. Another thing to note, the eyes on these figures, blank, just like the vintage toys were. Really fantastically nostalgic, these. Right down to him having the exact same style of hole for the bow to go in when we arm him up. Again, slightly taller than Michelangelo, slightly taller than Raphael. All these turtles in scale. Again, different scuffing on the shells, both front and back. Really, really nice. Let's get out the bow staff. Whoop. Slightly warped in packet, but he lives in a sewer. What do we expect? An exactly straight bow? It's unlikely anyway, so there we go. We can give him a good one-handed pose. Will it go in two-handed? Can hold it as a quarterstaff or as an actual fighting bow staff using both ends. Slightly short, I would say, the stick. It would be nice to have a little bit more length to it. Doesn't really seem like the most effective weapon when it's that size, but still, I'm liking it. It looks good. It's exactly what you'd see in the cartoon, so I can't really complain. Again, we've got the other weapons. He doesn't come with any throwing stars, which is nice to see. Nice to see we actually get a bit of individuality in these weapons as well. And nicer if we could actually get them done a little bit easier. Here we go. Seriously, growing up, we never had to deal with all these bloody ties. And we know this is Don's because it's got his name on it here. He's got two throwing discs instead of the traditional ninja stars that they've been coming with. He's got a three-pointed staff. He's got a staff with a spear on the end. Again, they all look a little bit short to me. That's my only complaint. A little bit short. But when you've got a big whacking blade at the end, what do you need a longer staff for? Not much of a complaint, but it is a niggle for me with Donatello. And finally on to Leonardo, the leader of the team. Everybody's favourite. Well, I say everybody's favourite, probably nobody's favourite. I know he was never my favourite. But he's the leader, he needs the extra respect. Now there's an interesting point. His holsters for his katana blades fell off in packet. So I don't know if they're meant to be removable, but clearly mine are. Does it matter which way up we put them? I don't think so. I think they're pretty much identical. I think there's slightly bigger holes at the top here, so we'll put them in that way. Hangs over his shoulder. Bandana may get in the way. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Again, fantastic articulation on them. Fantastic job on the sculpting. And don't even get me started on the paint job. It looks so awesome. But Leonardo is not Leonardo without his katana blades. So, here we go. One. Nope. It's the shorter one. So that should be in his left hand. It's meant to be the sidearm. That's about as far as my knowledge of Japanese fighting styles go. And there's the leader in blue. Wonderful katana blades. Let's check them in the holsters. Snug fit, but they go in nicely. Really nice posability with these figures. Really lovely paint job. Whoa. Lovely job all round, I will admit. Congratulations to Playmate on these. They've done a really nice job. Have a look at his other accessories. Seriously, these ties are a pain. There we go. Got another long sword. We've got a stick shuriken. 2 large stars, throwing stars, with 8 points on them. And 3 little throwing daggers. Each actually has a hole as well where you can string wire through them if you want. If you've got some thread, yarn, whatever you've got, wool to put through there, you can actually make them a ranged weapon that you can use, which is a nice touch. Yeah, a good selection of weapons there. Really liking the team. Fantastic posability to them. Store the weapons away. Now this is one concern I do have with Michelangelo. How long will his nunchucks last before they break? How well do they store in here as well? This looks a small hole. Yeah, they store all right in there. Takes just a little bit of work to get them in. A little bit more than I would have liked, and his belt slightly falling off there. Probably not glued in fully, because unlike the vintage figures, the belts are not meant to be removable, or they don't seem to be meant to be removable. Just to show you, you can actually still have him hold aside in the traditional way. Stick them all in there. Stick Don's staff in there. Now, Don's staff seems to be slightly too small for the holster, but it's fine. Just loose. Too loose for my liking. Seems like it could just fall all the way through if it went too thick at this end to actually pass. But once it's down like that, he's a lot harder to stand up or pose nicely. Right. Just noticed the necks even are slightly different. So each one totally new sculpt. Really nice touch. Really good figures. Highly recommended for any Turtles fan. Anyone like me who watched the show growing up. Anyone who watched the second cartoon. Anyone who's enjoying this new cartoon. Really nice figures. Highly recommended. I can't praise them high enough. Couple of little niggles, but that's all they were. Little niggles. Great articulation on these 4. Fantastic accessories. Really lovely paint job. What more can you say? Loving this line. Can't wait to get some more. Right, till I do, see you then.